Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hail. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made. What can I do? Time flashed by and I woke up on the other side of the moon.
G'day everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Anna and this is You Got Me in Stitches. I hope you have a really good week, whatever you guys have been up to. Righto, coming in at you today with a new tag which was created by two beautiful ladies, Dani from Pocket Or Two and Sian from KittenishBehaviour. The tag is called Show Us Your Stish. Originally, Sian was talking about going through other people's fabric collections, primarily Rachel's from Stitched Up. So kind of one thing led to another in the live stream comments and things like that, and then I guess that Sian and Dani kind of got their heads together and came up with this tag. So the two lovely ladies then devised a set of questions, and there are 9 altogether and all to do with fabric, of course. The first question is favourite fabric. Now come on guys, how can we possibly choose a favourite fabric? It is so hard, and when I was going through the list I think sometimes the questions actually got harder and harder, but I believe for me recently it is the Lady McElroy fabrics, partly because they are absolutely beautiful prints on them, and the ones that I got were just so buttery soft and really gentle against the skin, and also they're quite a bit of a pretty penny, and I don't often purchase fabrics kind of at that price. So yeah, in conclusion of that, it's kind of a bit of a mix of all three there. So I would actually go with Lady McElroy fabrics, and the specific fabric I have chosen, which was so difficult, was this one. And the reason for this is purely because if you look at the fabric there, it's almost like the floral fabric, flowers and everything, and the birds are kind of like just being very delicately painted on, and it just gives it, I don't know, it just gives it that extra little bit of loveliness. Second question is oldest fabric. Now this fabric is the only one that I could get at hand. You will see why later on. That is purely because, as most of you guys know, that there was a lot of renos going on, painting and decorating, and since with everything currently going on at the moment, pretty much there's still a lot of everything boxed up, mainly on my fabric. So the fabric is a ticking fabric. It is used, so there's the inside there, still a bit fluffy from the original feathers. It's probably been in my stash around about 20 years or so, give or take, and yeah, it was just passed on to me. There is not very much of it, probably just enough to make a regular square cushion, or maybe just 4 little ones. Question 3 is the fabric that you are scared to cut into. Now this fabric I purchased last year, meeting up with other fabric minded ladies at Gold Hawk Road. So this is the fabric here. So it has quite a lot of embroidery throughout, and these little flowers here, and it's kind of on this knitting, and cutting into that I think would be pretty tricky, and also you don't want to lose a lot of the embroidery and the flowers, especially if you find like the patterns, and you got to make sure that you configure the pattern pieces correctly, and also you perhaps would not want that on your chest in a certain area. So yeah, this fabric is going to be in the stash for a little while, unless I make a little top which could just go over a little chemmy. Question 4 is fabric that you are unsure what to make from. So I have this kind of canvas, perhaps cotton drill, and it has Swedish little prints and things on there, scene depictions. I will insert, well, Teenage Earthling will insert a photograph of it because it is huge, and yeah, it would be better for you guys to actually see it in its fullness as opposed to just sit here folded up. But again, it's a big piece, and once you cut into it, you don't want to really break up the pattern on it. It could simply be a cover for the bed, drapes, or even a tablecloth, or maybe even if you go on a picnic and things like that. But I just don't know. Let me know what you think after you have seen the photograph, and let me know. The fabric itself I thrifted, so it was relatively inexpensive, and the texture, it is pretty heavy duty. Question 5 is fabric with a little bit of a story to it. So this next fabric that I'll show you is my little teenage earthling. About 5 years ago, purchased some fabric. He had decided to get me some fabric as a gift, so a friend of mine actually has a fabric store. Teenage earthling then asked another friend of mine to then take him to my friend's fabric store. Teenage earthling then asked another friend of mine to then take him to my friend who had the fabric store, and then I think he spent a little bit of time in there having a look and decided upon this fabric. It is 100% cotton mid to lightweight fabric, and it's really beautiful. It has these little tiny hearts and tiny little polka dots on it. The fabric has already been made into a harder neck garment already. It is not finished. Yes, that's right, it's been about 5 years and it hasn't been completed. Again, there's a little bit of story to that, but I don't want to talk about that on camera. And yeah, I will finish this, and I just wish that the other issue that kind of brought a little bit of, I guess, upset, kind of then has taken my love and joy out of finishing the garment, which is really upsetting, because obviously this is fabric that my beautiful teenage earthling had purchased for me, and I haven't as yet worn the garment. And on the front it has the little hook and bar closes there instead of a zipper and or buttons or snaps or anything like that, and I just hope that it actually still fits me. But yes, this is very special fabric, as this was the fabric that my beautiful son had purchased for me for the very first time. Question 6 is, where do you store your fabric collection? This is a little bit tricky for me because I have never had a designated sewing room or anything like that, and again, most of you guys know that I share. And yeah, so I also, with the runners and decoration and everything like that, everything is still in really ugly round boxes, kind of stored away neatly in a few areas, and even it crept into the new kitchen. Yes guys, there's a couple of kitchen cabinets with fabric in. I know, I can't believe that, and I've just told the whole world that. Well, come on guys, I'm sure there's fabric in your collection that is kind of scattered and sporadically put around the house. And also, not forgetting attic, but I am not going to go in the attic. Yes, but primarily before the renos and things like that were happening, I kind of had a shelving unit in my bedroom, and therefore the fabrics were neatly folded up and put on some shelves. And the shelves were kind of like a unit type shelves, and then I made some extra shelves because, you know, you need extra shelves to kind of fill the gap where the bland wall is with fabric. And then it kind of, I suppose, when it got a little bit filled, it went into the closets, under the bed and things like that. Yes, but everything had to all be gathered up, and yeah, so currently pretty much every fabric is stored in cardboard storage boxes, and yeah, some are in the living room, some are in the bedroom, and then the prettier, tinier, smaller fabric boxes I have fabric in. Yeah, does that make sense? Okay, I will give you a little bit of a sneaky peek, but no judgment please, because you know, at the end of the day you have to pull things out, you have to put everything into storage boxes, things like that, until everything gets decorated, sorted, changed around and things like that. But it's all part of the fun. Right guys, here we go. Here's the shock. Box after box. There we go. Fabric is kind of in these boxes there. And that's just a little bit. And we have that one has other bits and pieces in it as well. Like this box is stuffed to the top, as is that one, and that one, and another one down there. Yeah. You ready for this guys? There we go, in there is the little box with the fabric in. Just tucked it in there, out the way. And the other one as well, a little bit of thrifted fabric in there. Just behind the marker pins and juice, there's another little of that fabric cube thing. But actually that is clothes in there that are thrifted, I believe, and/or yeah, thrifted, that I might refashion. And then there's that one there, and that is just a couple of little thrifted things in there. That is a little cushion ready to have a cover stitched, and just peeking behind there is the fabric from Goldhawk Road. So yeah, but some of these fabrics that I thrifted, I wanted to carry on making some homemade sewn items like cushion covers, tea cozies, toaster cozies, anything like that, drapes, because a little while ago I used to sell my makes at craft events, hauls, things like that, markets, and eventually I wanted to hopefully have a little online store. So a lot of the fabric is for home dec stuff and interiors, and then obviously some of the boxes that you've just seen in the other room would be for dressmaking, garment making. Then there's this little pile here. This is in my bedroom, and in there is some of the envelopes where I have got from de-stashes and/or gifted. So there's a few sewing patterns, a couple of little fabrics, but this is just there. Then moving on, have a box there, not much in that one, no sorry, that one, and that box there. In here is just some makes that at the moment I have not put in the closet, and that little box there, thrifted fabric, a couple of little thrifted shirts that you guys have seen. You guys would have seen that fabric as well. And just peeking in that box there, there's a couple of little fabrics, there's only about 4. Is the precious fabrics that you have in your collection, and I think for me it will have to be the Lady McElroy fabrics, the ones that have been recently on the video in the fabric haul. I'll quickly show you guys again. And you may have just seen there on camera, that's the little female blackbird that is so tame, and you have seen in the previous video with the nature. Okay, righto, so this one is Stock Surprise. Next was the Hunter's Quest, the Songbird Bouquet. Then we have the Macaw Safari. Then we have Feather Heaven. Then next is the Majestic Stag. And finally the Elephant Habitat. So yeah, those fabrics, again because they're the Lady McElroy, and I do feel pretty nervous in stitching them because I don't want to stuff up, and you can understand why. Question 8 is your dream fabric. That's kind of a bit of a hard one to think about. I guess something that would have been handmade, hand dyed, any stitching or embroidery all by hand, and perhaps a satin or a silk fabric. But again, with silk, obviously to come from silkworms, and I want to do my best to be a little bit earth friendly. So, but yeah, anything like that, something with a lot of hand work behind the fabric and the stitching required on the fabric to create a pattern. Nothing too heavy, something light and kind of sporadic, and it definitely has to be nature inspired. Question 9 is fabric of your choice, and that was kind of a double answer there because you have already seen it, and that is the Lady McElroy fabrics, and I cannot believe that I actually own some in my collection. And although the yardage is small on each increment, I still have some in my collection, and would be very proud to wear the clothes that I eventually brave enough to cut into them. But yeah, they are my fabrics of choice. I know we're supposed to maybe only have one. I can't choose one, I'm sorry. It's just, no, I'm not sorry. It's just, yeah, Lady McElroy fabrics, and you've just seen them, guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Special thank you to Dani from Pocket Or Two and Sian from KittenishBehaviour for coming up with this hashtag. It's been great fun, much appreciated. And guys, thank you for taking your time to come by and watch my video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And happy sewing, everybody. Please take care, and see you hopefully on Tuesday for Tip Time Tuesday. Okay, thank you so much for watching, guys.